Nanoparticles and Restorative Dentistry, a review. Abstract, irrespective of the research field, nanotechnology is very interesting area. Before studying about synthesis of nanoparticles, evaluation of its properties, uses and applications of nanoparticles in different fields, knowing history is very important. In this regards, authors have tried to brief the historical development about the nanoparticles used in restorative dentistry with respect to the classification of materials. Nanotechnology includes controlled scaling down of materials at the nanometer scale, where the properties of the materials are one of a kind, sudden and novel when contrasted with their mass partners. Along these lines, designed nanoparticles are tremendously being connected as detecting tests, imaging, tranquilize, conveyance, theranostics, battling infections like malignancy, and additionally battling microbial pathogens. Alongside the biomedical applications, there are set up employment of nanoparticles for mechanical applications and business items, due to their inborn physicochemical and synergist properties, and enormous surface region to volume proportions. Keywords: nanoparticles, restorative dentistry. Introduction. The term dentistry originates from odontology, which was gotten from ancient Greek word odous, which signifies tooth, the investigation of the structure, improvement, and anomalies of the teeth. The utilization of nanotechnology is a long way from being new. For instance, it was utilized around 2600 BC in colors to grant shading to strands and textures. Another model can be found in Middle Age houses of worship, where recolored glass craftsmen used nanoscopic scale, or nanoscale, gold and silver particles to grant ruby red and profound yellow shading to window boards too. Another precedent is the Damascus steel delivered by the 12th to the 18th century Middle Eastern metalsmiths, which incorporates cementite nanowires inside carbon nanotubes. 3. Around then, they had no real way to watch the nanostructures they made. All the more as of late, carbon dark has been utilized since 1910 to fortify tires, without realizing that it was the communication among elastic and the nanoscale carbon dark particles that granted the tires with expanded hardness, quality, scraped spot, and tear obstruction. 4. The word nanotechnology was utilized without precedent for 1974 by Norio Taniguchi in reference to machining and completing dimensional resilience for semiconductor forms. 5. It was taken from the Greek word for a smaller person and means a billionth of a unit. Notwithstanding, it was simply after the improvement of the checking burrowing magnifying instrument in 1981 by IBM specialists Gerd Binning and Heinrich Rohrer 6 that advancement truly commenced. It was currently conceivable to watch matter at the nanoscale. They were granted a Nobel Prize in Physical Science in 1986 for this revelation, which exploits the quantum wonder displayed by conductor and semiconductor materials at the nanoscale. At that point, full errands were found in 1985 by Harold Crotto, Robert Curl, and Richard Smalley 7, who won a Nobel Prize in Science in 1996 for this accomplishment. The main controlled development of carbon nanotubes is credited to Sumio Oljama and his associates in 1991. 8. Restorative dentistry was begun at the season of Egyptian time. At the same time, stayed undeveloped until the 18th century. The prior dental prosthesis was produced using human teeth, which are hard to obtain and costly as well. Creature teeth are hand eroded effectively because of nature salivary specialists and cut to human size and shape. John Greenwood utilized hippopotamus teeth for George Washington's denture 9-11. Porcelain was presented by Alexis Duchateau, for dentistry application in 1774 is a standout amongst the most critical memorable advancements in dentistry. A few reports were found in 1728. Fouchard, a French dental specialist, utilized heated veneer. 12. Types of dental restorations. 13. The types of restorations involved include simple felspathic veneers, porcelain jacket crowns and bridges, metal ceramic crowns and bridges, inlays and onlays, implant superstructures. These systems are shown schematically in Figure A, B, C, and D. Fig. Data shows in ceram crown with standard crown design. Fig.B lateral view of in-ceram crown demonstrating underlying tooth structures. Fig.C lateral view of ceramic crown on a titanium implant. Fig.D porcelain veneer resin bonded to tooth enamel. Nature has organized complex biominerals in the most ideal manner from the miniaturized scale to the nanoscale, and nobody can yet join natural and physical properties to get perfect structures. Also, no engineered material can be smart enough to react to outside upgrades and respond like nature-made tissues. 13. There are various potential choices to make brilliant materials for the development and emulating of nature. Table 1. Table point 1 Alternatives for the creation of smart materials for dental applications. 14. Choice. Explanation. Material synthesis. Creating manufactured materials coordinating morphology and properties like common dental tissues. Biomimetic approaches. To supplant lost dental tissues, pursue nature's standards and creating biomaterials looking like their properties near the supplanting tissues. Tissue engineering. Utilization of regenerative drug and tissue building approaches for supplanting the lost dental tissues by recoveries. The unbroken, material sense, mist, flow, the capacity of transfer, exterior and sense, compactness, vital stiffness, porosity, and physical character of many components are altered by the size and virtue of their basic particles. 15. Nanotechnology involves controlled miniaturization of materials at the nanometer scale, where the properties of the materials are unique, unexpected, and novel, when compared to their bulk counterparts. Therefore, engineered nanoparticles are enormously being applied as sensing probes, imaging, drug delivery, theranostics, combating diseases like cancer 16 to 17 and or fighting microbial pathogens 18 to 20. Beyond biomedical applications, there are established uses of nanoparticles for industrial applications and commercial products, due to their intrinsic physicochemical and catalytic properties, and large surface area to volume ratios. 20. 2. Classification of materials. The materials utilized in dentistry are of 4 kinds. They are metals, ceramics, polymers, and composites. Utilitarian execution, style, and biocompatibility are 3 significant necessities for dental helpful materials. 21. 3. Metals. Metals are the first classification of materials used in dentistry since many centuries. Here is a brief of some metal materials and its alloys used in dentistry. A. Gold. Among metals, gold is the most seasoned dental remedial material, have been utilized for dental fixes for over 4,000 years. In 1400 Jonas Arculan's referenced that gold leaf was utilized by dental specialists in those days. 22 to 23 Porcelain combined to metal rebuilding efforts were boundless innovation since 1960. 24 Gold is an ideal respectable metal for the supplanting of lost tooth with impeccable natural and mechanical properties aside from style and can be cold welded at room temperature. Gold is most grounded and the strongest among every single helpful material with warm development and constriction coefficient is like that of characteristic teeth, and consequently, there is no harm to the reclamation with the utilization of hot or freezing substances. 25. Fig.1 shows outline of 2 Etruscan dental prostheses made by passing meager segments of gold round teeth on each side of the room from which a tooth or teeth had been lost and riveting the strip in order to hold the substitute teeth set up. In one case, the projection teeth are available, yet the counterfeit tooth is lost, and in the other case, the 2 substitute teeth, segments of a creature tooth, remain. 26. Fig.2 shows here are nevertheless a portion of the numerous types of gold accessible for dental fillings at the turn of the century. The foil was controlled with the tweezers and kept to hand on the chamois cowhide gold cushion. 26. Fig.3 shows cutting-edge cast gold combinations connect with the working model of the patient's teeth. 26. Numerous investigations have been completed to improve the mechanical properties of the O combinations containing copper, Cu, O, Cu, Pd 27 to 28, O, Ag, Pd, in 29, O, Cu, Zn 30, O, Cu, Zn, Ag 31, and O, Ag, Cu, Pd 32 compounds, with the primary spotlight on the microstructural changes created by warmth treatment. B. Silver and its alloys. Dental amalgam is a blend of silver combination, silver 40 to 70%, tin 12, 30% and copper 12 to 24%, and once in while zinc up to 1%. Palladium 0.5% or indium 0.4%, with mercury. At the point when both are blended, a synthetic response will happen and frame dental amalgam, and the response among composite and mercury is named as amalgamation response. Albeit a few types of mercury are dangerous, the mercury in amalgam is synthetically bound to different metals to make it stable, and consequently it is the most secure metal for dental applications as oxidation preventer, while fabricating 33 to 37, represses consumption 38, and causes postponed development 39 to 40. Indium blended with high copper amalgam shows a decrease in the jerk and expands quality. Palladium diminishes stain and consumption 39. Dental amalgam is a standout amongst the most flexible helpful materials utilized in dentistry. It establishes around 75% of every single therapeutic material utilized by dental specialists. It has filled in as a dental reclamation for over 200 years. 41. Dental amalgam obviously was first utilized by the Chinese. Sukung, 659 AD, referenced the utilization of a blend in the material Medica 42. In Europe, Johannes Stokers, a city doctor in Ulm, Germany, suggested amalgam as a filling material in 1528-43. One increasingly major authentic reference to silver, mercury amalgam was made in France. Trevo depicted a silver glue filling material in 1826 and delivered amalgam by blending the silver coins with mercury 44. J. Cultivate Flag distributed the consequences of his research center tests and 5-year clinical perception of new composites with 60% of silver and 40% of tin as real constituents in 1881, which was completed 15 years sooner by G. V. Dark 45 to 46. S. S. White produced the principal business combination Wealthy in Silver, True Dent Alloy, 1900, in which gold was supplanted by copper. A combination with the organization of 68.5% silver, 25.5% tin, 5% gold, 1% zinc, was an engineer by joining the standards of depression plan, augmentation of the pit into invulnerable territories, which leads the black-propelled amalgams into present-day times 47 to 49. Regardless of a superior comprehension of the materials and science, and late upgrades in physical properties, no material has been discovered that is perfect for any dental application. 50. For instance, silver amalgam has been utilized for dental reclamation for over a century. Be that as it may, there has been a noteworthy worry about mercury danger from the amalgam rebuilding efforts for a long time. 51 to 55. Another serious issue is the shade of amalgam for tasteful contemplations, and elective materials are being looked to supplant. 56 to 58. The composite helpful materials have promising feel anyway. These materials are method delicate and mechanical properties are not comparable to of amalgams. 59. Gallium is another silver combination with the organizations of silver, half, tin, 25.7%, copper, 15%, palladium, 9% and follows, 0.3%. The softening temperature of gallium can be smothered underneath room temperature with the expansion of fitting measures of indium and tin. This fluid would then be able to be triturated with silver-tin-copper combination powder in a similar manner as dental amalgam. Noteworthy measures of palladium are added to the combination powder in the present business arrangements to improve erosion properties. The present creation of gallium compound comes in powder, which has been showcased in Japan, known as gallium combination GF by Takuraki Houston. 60. The utilization of gallium composites as a dental helpful was proposed in 1928 with concern about the conceivable danger of mercury-containing amalgam has stirred enthusiasm for less mercury options. Early gallium compounds extended too much, especially whenever tainted by dampness. In 1994 a non-palladium gallium compound, galloy, was presented with a case of lower setting extension. In examination with dispersalloy controls, Gallery rebuilding efforts were related with over-the-top postoperative affectability and a high frequency of tooth cusp crack. 61. C. Titanium. Titanium, articulated/titanium, was found in England by William Gregor in 1791 and named by Martin Heinrich Klaproth for the Titans of Greek folklore. 62. The utilization of titanium and titanium amalgams for therapeutic and dental applications has expanded drastically as of late. Titanium can be alloyed with different components to change its qualities, principally to improve the physical and mechanical properties, for example, quality, high temperature execution, creep obstruction, weldability, reaction to maturing heat medications, and formability. 63 to 65. Among the various properties of titanium, the biocompatibility is the greatest down-to-earth angle, and it is because of the presence of titanium oxide, TO2, layers, which are normally framed in oxygen-containing conditions. It is additionally conceivable to be created with different fake systems, example anodizing. 66 to 67. Titanium is generally latent, erosion obstruction metal in the light of its meager, roughly 4 nanometers, surface oxide layer. Studies have demonstrated that titanium promptly adsorbs protein like egg whites, laminin, glycosaminoglycans, collagenase, fibronectins, supplement proteins, fibrinogens, and so forth from the natural liquid. 62. Titanium is a thermodynamically receptive metal as a result of its generally negative reversible potential in the electrochemical arrangement. 68. In the mid-1960s, William Buehler alongside Frederick Wang at the U.S. Naval Ordnance Laboratory found the shape memory impact combination of nickel and titanium, which can be viewed as a leap forward in the field of shape memory, Buehler et al. 1967. This amalgam was named nitinol, also known as a shape memory combination, SMA. The primary endeavors to misuse the capability of NITI as an embed material were made by Johnson and Alacandri in 1968, Castleman et al. 1976. The utilization of NITI for therapeutic applications was first detailed during the 1970s. 69 to 71. The unordinary properties of this brilliant material are gotten from the two gem structures that can be changed over by changes in temperature or weight. At temperatures between around 0 and 100 degrees Celsius, there are two significant stages or precious stone structures of NITI that can be alluded to as the high temperature and low temperature stage, or as austenite and martensite, separately. The austenite stage has the symmetry of a shape and is described by hardness and unbending nature. 72 to 73. In dentistry, the material is utilized in orthodontics for sections and wires associating the teeth. When the SMA is set in the mouth, its temperature raises to encompassing body temperature. This makes the nitinol contract back to its unique shape, applying a steady power to move the teeth. These SMA wires don't be retightened as regularly as they can contract as the teeth move, dissimilar to traditionally treated steel wires. Furthermore, nitinol can be utilized in endodontics, where nitinol records are utilized to clean and shape the root trenches during the root channel strategy. 74. D. Stainless steel. Stainless steels have been effectively utilized in orthopedics and dentistry for over a century, till the presentation of vanadium careful steel by Sherman in 1912, when it was discovered that flexibility and pliability were not found in different steels. Nonetheless, the vanadium steel had poor biocompatibility. 75. In 1926, the 18-8-18% chromium, Cr, 8% nickel, Ni, and austenitic treated steel was presented in light of the fact that it was more grounded and more consumption safe in saline situations. Strauss licensed a variety of this 18-8 steel, that additional 2% to 4% molybdenum, MO, and made it much increasingly safe in acidic and chloride situations. 76. Chromium and molybdenum are included for consumption opposition, and huge measures of nickel are added to settle the austenitic structure. Extra-regular alloying components incorporate silicon, manganese, niobium, titanium, and carbon. Albeit austenitic steels are not hardenable by warmth medicines, the huge measure of malleability enables them to experience significant virus working before break. 77. Treated steel is a minimal effort material which offers great erosion opposition, pliability, and the capacity to work solidify during the pleating procedure, and it was proposed by clinicians tempered steel crowns are simpler to place crying youngsters when contrasted and amalgam 78. In any case, a few professionals recommend that hardened steel are too tedious to fit, unseemly for some applications, hard to control and not tastefully satisfying in the oral depression while rebuilding 79. 4. Ceramics. Ceramics are the second broad classification of material used in dentistry. Step-by-step development of ceramics was quoted in history are as follows. The first generation ceramics were failed in dentistry due to high fracture rate. With higher density and smaller grains, a second generation of ceramics was developed in the late 1980s and the fracture rate for second generation of alumina was decreased to less than 5% 80. Finally, today a third generation of ceramic components is available, characterized by high purity, full density, and finer microstructure. In the last few decades, there have been remarkable advances in the mechanical properties and methods of fabrication of ceramic materials 81 to 83. The word ceramic began from the Greek expression kyramos signifying potter or earthenware 84. In the mid-1700s, numerous European rulers were spending gigantic holes bringing in porcelain from China and Japan. Figure 4, from Schloss Charlottenburg in Berlin, is illustrative of simply little parts of one of these accumulations. The gathering of Augustus III of Saxony was maybe the biggest and is currently in plain view at the Zwinger Museum in Dresden, his previous castle. Such movement drove China to be portrayed as being the draining bowl of Europe. Among 1604 and 1657 alone, more than 3 million bits of Chinese porcelain came to Europe 85. Fig. 4 Schloss Charlottenburg in Berlin is illustrative of simply little segments of one of the broad porcelain accumulations mainstream with European sovereignty 86. Characterization of ceramic-based materials 87 Dental ceramics can be arranged dependent on either a. Uses or signs, for example foremost, back crown, facade, post and center, fixed prosthesis, earthenware recolor, coat. b. Composition. c. Principal precious stone grid stage, silica glass, lucite-based feldspathic porcelain, lucite-based glass ceramic, lithia disilicate-based glass ceramic, lucite disilicate-based glass artistic, aluminous porcelain, alumina, glass implanted alumina, glass imbued spinel, glass injected alumina/zirconia. d. Processing technique, throwing, sintering, fractional sintering, and glass invasion, slip throwing and sintering, hot isostatic squeezing, CAD/CAM processing, and duplicate processing. E. Firing temperature, ultra-low intertwining, low combining, medium melding, and high intertwining. F. Microstructure, formless glass, crystalline particles in the grid. G. Translucency, misty, translucent, straightforward. H. Fracture opposition, low, medium, hard. I. Abrasiveness, examination in respect to veneer, against tooth finish. For the most part, tooth-to-tooth wear will result amidst teeth and recovery contact, which results in ordinary unavoidable wear of tooth. Teeth wear will be more due to inside restoration of oral cavity, especially in case of opposing ceramic restorations 87 to 90. In case of opposing ceramic restorations the rate of tooth surface is more 91. Wear of entire tooth is also possible and it leads to numerous problems such as damage to opposing enamel structure, loss of occlusal vertical dimension, problems in mastication, temporomandibular joint problems, hypersensitivity, and aesthetic impairment 92 to 94. Tooth wear occurs due to interaction between erosion, attrition, and abrasion, whereas abfraction may potentiate the process, is the definition for tooth wear by Shelley's and Addy 89, 1, or the other mechanisms will interact simultaneously which majorly leads in occlusal and cervical wear 95 to 96 erosion, attrition, abrasion, and abfraction are few classifications of tooth wear based on the morphological and etiological factors 97 to 98. Bioceramics, for example, alumina, zirconia, HAP, and so forth, are principally utilized in orthopedic and dental reparation. All through mankind's history, alumina is the main strong oxide type of aluminum, Al2O3, likewise called aluminum oxide, has innovatively viable artistic material 99. Aluminum oxide was first presented during the 1970s, with a break rate as high as 13% 100. Original earthenware production was bombed in dentistry because of high break rate. With the higher thickness and little grains, the second era of earthenware production was created in the late 1980s, and the crack rate for the second era of alumina was diminished to fewer than 5% 101. At long last, today the third era of artistic parts is accessible, portrayed by high virtue, full thickness, and better microstructure. Over the most recent couple of decades, there have been striking advances in the mechanical properties and strategies for the creation of fired materials 102 to 104. A few sorts of earthenware production were created because of interest for very tasteful, biocompatible, and dependable remedial materials by specialists, and patients made analysts move towards sans metal rebuilding in the dental field from a most recent couple of decades 104. Metals and earthenware production are advanced and feel can be expanded by silicate and glass pottery. Aluminum and zirconium oxide earthenware production are utilized as a center material for crowns and fixed dental prostheses, FDPs, in light of their high qualities 105. Zirconia has a lower disappointment rate than silicate or alumina systems 106. Biliar zirconia/facade reclamations results in early chipping/crack were seen in oral working 107. Contradicting dentition where pottery setting over the occlusal surfaces ought to be maintained a strategic distance from 108. Dental earthenware production is quickly developing exploration region. The stylish appearance of artistic rebuilding efforts is because of the surface of the reclamation, which is controlled by the surface completion, and modifications of clay materials are prescribed to deliver progressively tough fired regarding wear opposition and to limit the undesired impacts 109. Therapeutic materials are to be profoundly stylish, biocompatible, and dependable. Remedial is the fundamental necessity by specialists and patients. In this perspective, a few kinds of fired reclamation materials have been created 110. Conclusion. Gold and gold alloys are having a low softening point, high bond quality which uses gold in patching. It is high lengthening as cast or solidified, impeccable biocompatible, normal tasteful appearance with great mechanical properties. It is strongest among all the restorative materials. However, mercury is available in dental amalgam. It will artificially tie to different metals to make it steady and safe for use in dentistry. Thus it is steady, hinders erosion, postpones extension, lessens creep, and builds quality, and decreases stain and consumption. Thus, dental amalgam is utilized as remedial materials in dentistry around 75% among every single other metal for over 200 years. Stainless steel and amalgams are overwhelming gold in light of their higher firmness, increasingly tasteful, likewise due to their low costs, great mechanical properties, and satisfactory erosion obstruction in the oral condition. Be that as it may, stainless steels are ideal versatility contrasted and gold wires. Titanium and titanium alloys, in light of their physical and compound properties, reasonable for dentistry. Titanium shows low poisonous quality, incredible solidness with low consumption rates, and great mechanical properties contrasted with different metals. The mix of high solidarity to weight proportion, lightweight, magnificent mechanical properties, consumption opposition, biocompatible, non-harmful, long-enduring, non-ferromagnetic, the joining of bone with fake embed, cost-productive and long-range accessibility settles on titanium, the best material decision for some basic applications. Albeit typically more grounded artistic materials have been grown, all-around ceramic materials are not yet acknowledged as a restorative material. Since the achievement rate of ceramic materials in rebuilding dentistry relies upon clinicians' capacity to choose suitable material to coordinate intraoral condition and stylish requests. ceramics and other materials yet to be improved to use it in restorative dentistry in so many ways, such as biocompatibility, aesthetic appearance, mechanical properties, etc.